What cheer! I'm Cook Benny and welcome to Reheated History, Food for Thought. I've got full episodes with recipes every Sunday, but this is our midweek deep dive where we look at the why behind the what. The stories, the struggles, and the strange facts that explain why these dishes even exist in the first place. This week we cover ash cakes, a bread you cook straight in the fire. Now why would you do that? Because you had no other choice. So before we bury our bread in the embers this Sunday, I want to talk about the American Revolution. But the lesson here goes a little deeper than just a tough winter. The war was actually won by the logistics of nothing. The colonies couldn't tax, so Washington's biggest challenge wasn't out shooting the British. It was keeping an army of farmers and blacksmiths from dissolving and going home because they didn't have shoes, bullets, or food. At places like Valley Forge, eating a piece of charred dough wasn't just a meal, it was an act of political defiance. It was proof that the citizen soldier could endure more than a professional empire. The revolution wasn't just won by fighting, it was won by outlasting. By surviving that winter, the Continental Army had stayed a threat long enough for the conflict to go global. The moment the French entered the fray after the Battle of Saratoga, this stopped being a local rebellion and turned into a tiny world war. Britain suddenly found themselves in a global game of chess where they had to pull resources away from the colonies to defend their much more profitable sugar islands in the Caribbean from French and Spanish navies. We didn't just win because of our ideals. We won because the citizen soldier was tough enough to stay in the game until the British realized the 13 colonies had become a secondary front in a massive global war that they couldn't afford to keep fighting. We'll talk about how all this survival tactic crossed from Native American traditions to the front lines of history this Sunday. I'll see you then.